All right, quick video. Yes, this is the second one today. It's getting hot and heavy out there in climate land, global heating land, literally and figuratively. So this would be a short video, but just something I had to, in fact, I'm about to go outside and do some work. Just something I wanted to bring up real quick, and that is that the U.S., parts of the U.S., that's like a 4 or 5 state area, is about to have a record hot Christmas. And there's like maybe about half of the country is going to be in a heat wave. Maybe not record hot on Christmas Day, but definitely heat waves. Like 2/3 of the country. So what is happening? This is a topic I've touched on before, and I'll just mention it again. Again, more evidence of coming attractions is what this is. So what is happening? Record heat in the U.S. is happening because this is technical, okay? I have to say these things. It's science. There's no way around it. I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. I'm trying to do some science communication here, okay? And because it's science communication, I can't really do anything except what I'm just about to do. So that's how it is. And sorry, here we go. So why is this happening now? So the Earth dynamic system is like the entire planet. And plus it's all the components. So the biosphere, the cryosphere, the atmosphere, the hydrosphere, the lithosphere, all parts of the Earth dynamic system are now in motion. The Earth is on an excursion, which is a technical term which means it's going into a different part of phase space. The Earth dynamic system is so complicated that it occupies multidimensional phase spaces. This shit is unhinged, okay? Sorry, I don't even understand it, but that's how it is. And it's dominated by chaotic elements. And it's dominated, the atmosphere at least, also the ocean, is dominated by fluid flow dynamics, which are also chaotic. And there's all kinds of tipping points. And there's all these forces that are at work, some of which are augmenting each other, some of which are masking each other. And the whole system is on the move. So what's happening right now? Why are we getting a record hot Christmas over much of the U.S.? The weather in the lower 48 states, how cold it gets, how hot it gets, is determined somewhat by the jet stream. The jet stream is a high altitude wind that determines, and it blows in the northern part of the northern hemisphere, so up around 60, 70 degrees latitude. And the jet stream determines the activity of weather fronts and whatnot on the ground. The jet stream has always been a fairly consistent source of training, forcing direction for the weather. But in the last 20 years or so, the jet stream has begun to break down. And it's no longer providing the services that it used to provide for helping to maintain our temperate environment here at 30 degrees north latitude. 35 or so. So what happened to the jet stream? Well, it took us a long time to figure that out, but finally we figured it out. What happened to the jet stream is that it is influenced, it is created by the polar vortex. The polar vortex is supposed to be located right above the North Pole, centered on the North Pole. It is a gyre, goes in a circle, a vortex. It spins counterclockwise at the North Pole. And it is formed by the North Pole being very cold compared to the lower latitudes, which are temperate to very warm. And so long as that temperature difference was fairly extreme, then the polar vortex would spin rapidly. It would influence the jet stream to spin rapidly, and the rapid spinning of the jet stream would trap cold air against the North Pole and wouldn't let it out. It's called a ring fence. Well, what's been happening of late, like in the last 10, 20 years or so, is that the polar vortex is warming. And it even goes through events that are called sudden stratospheric warming, which remain to a large extent a mystery. However, it is happening in the context of global heating. So you would be excused if you were to sort of correlate these things. I'm joking, of course, a little bit. Of course, it's tied to global heating because that's what's happening. It's getting hot up there. And it's still freezing, and it's still so cold you would die, but it's not as cold as it used to be, and that's the key. As the equator warms quite a bit, and the northern polar vortex warms a lot, then the differential begins to reduce. It's not the temperature differences aren't as different as they used to be. And then these events of sudden stratospheric warming, SSWs, cause the vortex to slow down because the winds caused by the heating of the equator versus the cooling of the North Pole, those winds are reduced. So as they're reduced, the jet stream is reduced. And as the jet stream begins to reduce, it begins to meander like any river that flows straight in the mountains, and then when it hits the flats, it starts to meander and make oxbows and things like that. And eventually, a river meanders enough, it just becomes a big marsh, and it's really hard to tell if there's any flow or not. So the jet stream is at this point breaking down. The jet stream is in terminal decline. I don't know how much time we have left before the jet stream completely collapses. And then it might come back for a while, then it might collapse and come back, but it is definitely in terminal decline. The trend is it's going away. Now this is end of the world shit going on. It really is. I haven't heard anyone speculate on what happens when the jet stream collapses. Oh, hold on. We're about to find out. Because we're having a record hot Christmas in the lower 48 states. Now, not everybody's going to know this, but because I like to pay attention, the record hot Christmas falls rapidly on the heels of record cold weather in the same region. We were having actual instrumental temperatures in the middle of the country. They were like minus 30 degrees or 30 degrees below normal Fahrenheit, or even 40. Now it's swinging back the other way. It's going to be 30 or 40 degrees above normal, or maybe 50, in exactly the same locations. Okay, and the difference, this shift from very, very cold to very, very hot isn't happening over months. This isn't summer versus winter. This is happening over a week. This is all winter. This is all winter shit. So what is happening here, and which no one will discuss for your benefit, I'll discuss it because I'm a savage. No one else will do this for you. It's because of the breakdown of the jet stream. The cold air is falling out of the north. It's literally falling through the ring fence, which is what the jet stream is supposed to be. And it's not anymore because it's basically gone. And at the same time that the jet stream is collapsing, that's one of our jet streams. There's another one, also in the northern hemisphere, called the subtropical jet stream. It's not as strong. It's closer to the equator, but it kind of does the same thing. It holds hot air against the equator and keeps hot air from migrating too far north. And that's where we're in this Goldilocks zone. We've got a northern jet stream that holds the cold air against the North Pole. We have a subtropical jet stream that holds hot air against the equator. And then most of civilization, folks, us people, usins, we're in this Goldilocks zone that's being protected. As the northern jet stream collapses, the cold air breaks out. Just like cattle breaking through a fence. It just breaks out and falls south. At the same time that the jet stream is collapsing, the subtropical jet stream is beginning to dominate. Okay, now this is all Earth dynamics. This is some scary, spooky shit going on, all right? No one's going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this. Subscribe and come back. Like the video. Tell YouTube that this is some important, real spit going on, okay? The subtropical jet stream begins to edge north, filling the vacuum, if you like. The subtropical jet stream is bringing up the intense heat from the equator. Now, if you're living in the temperate regions, you're not accustomed to intense heat. But if you live at the equator, as I have done, you'll know that Christmas can be record hot. And you don't even feel like celebrating Christmas because it's so fucking hot. And also, the equatorial regions tend not to have even seasons. These don't have seasons. It's just kind of hot all the time. And maybe there's a dry period, maybe there's a wet period, but it's kind of hot all the time. Temperature varies just a little bit. So, what's happening? The northern jet stream is breaking apart. Cold air can come down and invade the lower latitudes. At the same time, the subtropical jet stream is picking up influence and it's moving north and it's bringing hot air with it. Okay? And the two are in a struggle for dominance. But this isn't going to last. The north polar jet stream is on its way out. Oh man. Oh boy. Holy smokes. This is earth-shattering. This is the kind of shit you did not want to hear about. People thought this was never going to be a problem. People thought this would never happen. These things have been established for millions of years. Millions of years, no joke. And now it's falling apart. What's that going to do? I don't know. That's going to ruin everything. Is what that's going to do. And we're about to see it. We're seeing it. This is a preview of coming attractions. As a north polar jet stream collapses and vanishes, as the polar vortex warms and it basically disappears, it won't be there anymore, practically speaking, then the subtropical jet stream is going to move north. I don't know how far it's going to move north, but as we're seeing now, it doesn't have to move too far because we're getting record, basically equatorial temperatures. Equatorial temperatures in the middle of the country at Christmas time. Oh, nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody. There were no models. There were no predictions. Nothing. The NCAR didn't do it. NASA didn't do it. NOAA didn't do it. The Storm Prediction Center didn't do it. No one saw this coming. This was not in the IPCC reports. This was not in the COP30. No one saw this coming. Just like they didn't see the year 2023 coming. Oh, yeah. That left them shaking in their boots. Oh, totally. Absolutely shaking in their boots. And now this is coming. No one sees this coming. No one knew this was coming. Well, maybe somebody did. Somebody did. Actually, I kind of did. I predicted a couple months back in the summer that the North Polar jet stream is endangered and is due to collapse at some point. And but I wasn't ready to put a time frame on it. But well, now it's happening. And the increasing dominance of the subtropical jet stream is going to bring equatorial temperatures to the lower 48 U.S. and of course Europe and in Southeast Asia and China. I'm only focused on what I can focus on. If this continues, it's the end of the human world. This is hothouse Earth. And people who thought, oh, well, the Earth will warm slowly. And yeah, what we discovered in 2023 is it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Oh, no. That's what we learned in 2023. Now, I understand that no one talks about that. But that's what we learned. Us scientist types. That's what we learned in 2023. And now we're seeing it. It's barely 6 years later. I mean, 6. What am I talking about? 2026. It's barely 3 years later, right? Hardly even 3 years later. And here it comes. Here we go again. Unexpected. Impossible. Utterly impossible. And the swing, and this is interesting. Now, let's see if the Midwesterners catch up on this. They're a bunch of pinheads, right? They don't know what the fuck is going on. They don't know what's coming for them. They have no idea. They have no idea. These people, I fear for them. What they have experienced in the span of a week is an 80 to 100 degree temperature swing from the depths of that cold weather a week ago to the height of the hot weather they're going to have Christmas Day. It's like maybe 10 days. They're something like an 80 or a 90 degree Fahrenheit temperature swing in like 10 days. 90 degree temperature swing. Now, okay, so they have air conditioning, right? And they have heating. So last week they had the heating cranked up to 11, right? And now they're going to have the AC, the cooling cranked up to 11. So it works. They'll just go to the thermostat and adjust it one way or the other, right? That's not really the point. That is not the point, is it? The fact that you can adapt or somehow survive that kind of a temperature swing. That wealthy people in a wealthy nation have enough infrastructure and consumer goods and temperature regulation that they can survive that kind of a swing. That's not really the point. Yeah, it's true, but that's not really the point. What's the point? What's the point here? Something is coming completely ungeared. How can you have a 90 degree Fahrenheit temperature swing in 10 days? In the middle of the winter? How can that be happening? How can you have a record hot Christmas day in the middle of the country? How is that even possible? Something is breaking. That's the takeaway. We had a warm Christmas once in 1973 or something, and it was strange, and okay. Fine. I don't even care. People can think whatever they like. I don't even give a shit. Do I give any shits? No shit's given, right? I don't care what people think. I don't care what they think. Think whatever you like. Fuck it, I don't care. I suggest, however, modest suggestion, just between you and me, just between friends, you might want to start paying attention. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Something's going down, don't you think? I know it doesn't make any sense to the average schlub. Fine. Okay, I understand it doesn't make sense. Not your fault. Not even your fault. You've been betrayed. You've been thrown under the bus, as we like to say. Not even remotely your fault. But you are thrown under the bus. So you might have some responsibility to deal with that. I don't know. Just suggesting. Yes, the record high temperatures on Christmas will be downplayed. This is no big deal. It happens all the time. Every Christmas is record hot. They'll say all kinds of unhinged shit. Because they don't have a choice. What are they going to say? What the fuck are they going to say? Except that this happens all the time. We always set record high temperatures on Christmas Day. What? What do you expect them to say? They're not going to say that the Earth dynamic system is blowing itself to rat shit. They're not going to say that. They're not going to say that global heating is real and this is what we can expect now from now until forever. Oh, except that it could get worse, and there might be other really interesting and or lethal surprises in the near future. Oh, and or we maybe should start thinking about what happens if the lower 48 states become subtropical. Oh, what's that going to look like? And do we have enough air conditioners on the entire planet to save the people of the lower 48 states when every day is record hot? Forever. For centuries. I mean, you could have that discussion now if you want. You can start. I mean, they're not going to. Of course not. No. The narrative is going to be, oh, every Christmas is hot like this. Don't worry about it. Record heat on Christmas. Ha, ha, ha. It is to laugh. Anybody says that this isn't a normal thing is a fearmonger. They're a traitor. They don't love their country. They're fearmongering to make money. They have an agenda. It's all a hoax. They're just trying to make us scared so they can take away our freedoms, declare martial law, take away our guns, wave the flag. It's always hot on Christmas. That's what they're going to say. Okay, fine. Good luck out there, bitches. Yeah, good luck with all that. 90 degree temperature swing in 9 days. Good luck with that shit. You might want to start paying attention. I don't know, just a suggestion. Maybe start paying attention. As we shut down the National Center for Atmospheric Research, like maybe that is the bunch of people we should be listening to right now. Oh no, they just decided to defund them and break them up and send all those people into early retirement. Oh, you're fucked. You people are fucked. You're never gonna know what's hit you. You're never gonna know what hit you. And it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. You're supposed to be Homo sapiens, the wise one. You're supposed to be so goddamn wise. We have satellites. We have supercomputers. We have all these climate models. We're supposed to be on top of things. You people have no idea what's going to hit you. No clue. Not a clue. How am I supposed to feel about that? Huh. I refuse to have any feelings about it. FAFO, fuck around, find out. Good luck out there with your record hot Christmas. Good luck with that. And for the record cold that comes after that, and then 2 weeks later, the record heat that comes, about, mid-January. Good luck with all that. Just enjoy. Wild ride. Enjoy.